I'm not gonna lie to you, some of the biggest financial problems that people have is not because they're broke, it's because there are tiny habits that they don't pay attention to, that even though they're tiny, they cost them big in a long term. And I just want to highlight 5 habits that I've noticed through coaching some of my clients that they have ignored but has cost them a lot in money and just set them back a couple of years in terms of their financial goals, so that you won't need to make that mistake. And if you're making that mistake, you can stop. So let's get straight into it. Number 1 is opening your letters. Now, this usually happens to people who are in debt and they don't have control over it. But even some people who are not in debt, who've got their finances on point, still can fall victim to this. You need to ensure that every letter that comes through your letterbox, you are opening. And I am a digital girl, like I do emails, and it's so annoying that some companies haven't moved to emails yet, because I am more likely to check my emails than I am to open my letters. I'm not even gonna lie, I am guilty of this. But honestly, a lot of companies may not actually send you emails. They will send you a letter first, or will just only send you a letter. So a lot of parking tickets are done by letters, and if you do not open your letter, they'll continue to add to the parking ticket. So you have to be careful. Make sure you are opening those letters. This is the first step to your financial freedom. For a lot of you, open those letters, see how much you owe. Open those letters, see if you have a parking ticket you haven't paid for, and then you can deal with it. Open those letters, see if your bank has even refunded you some interest charges. I remember I was working with a client one time. She had paid off her credit card debt, and then she received another letter from them, and she thought, well, I don't owe you anything. And lo and behold, she just opened the letter. It was a check for £40 because they had overcharged her in interest. So you don't even know what you're going to get from those letters. So ensure you're opening your letters. So many people do this, not checking your account balance. You need to be checking your account balance. Now, you don't need to do it every day. I'm not going to lie to you. I do mine every day. Kind of every day, maybe every 2 days. But you need to be doing this every day, and I don't care how much money you have. And I've noticed in my life, right, the more money I have, the less likely I am to check my account balance. And the more I do not check my account balance, the more likely I am to overspend and go off the rails of my budget. So one of the reasons that you need to be checking your account balance is, first of all, if someone does fraud on your account, you're not going to know if you're not checking your account balance, right? And obviously, that's not the only reason. You're not constantly checking to see if someone's done fraud on your account, but that's just one of the things. Sometimes people, I've seen cases where fraud has been happening on someone's account and they weren't aware because they just kind of spend and just call it a day. And sometimes the banks may not refund you to, they may refund maybe a certain period. They might not refund everything because they're like, well, you shouldn't know. Also, it's to allow you to be within your budget as well, especially if you are someone who's trying to get their finances together. You do need to be checking your account balance. Also, to ensure that you haven't gone over. So people go into overdraft, get charged if they don't have a range overdraft. And the reason for that is because they're not checking their account balance. Now, there are these, what I like to call the new age banks, like Monzo, Starling, Revolut, where basically if you spend now, literally comes out of your account. So your account balance is your account balance. If you have one of those, it makes it a lot easier to just log in and check your account balance. I would assume that most people have internet banking. If you don't, get on internet banking. Ensure that you are keeping on top of your money, because if you don't, things can go off the rails pretty quickly. And I've seen this happen to people who are on it. Like, they are really good with saving, they're really good with their money and things like that. But because they don't check their bank account regularly, they have missed some things, they have been double charged. Like, there's just so many scenarios that's come out of this from not checking your bank balance. So please check your bank balance. So even though we live in the UK and we all understand the consequences of not paying your bills on time, people still do not pay their bills on time. And a lot of the times, a lot of the cases I've come across, some people have honestly forgotten. For some people, they do struggle with organization, so they kind of miss bills. One of the things I always say to people is, the minute you take something on, especially if it's important, like a phone contract, your mortgage, whatever it is, ensure that you have a list of bills that are supposed to go out every month, and ensure that those bills are paid every month. One of the things I try to do is I try to keep my bills, my bill date the same day or close to the day when I'm getting paid. That way I know that, you know, as the money's coming in, the bills are going out and the bills are being settled. You want to ensure that your bills are being settled, especially if you're just coming into your money journey, you're trying to get your personal finances together, ensure bills are settled. And I would add this as well, ensure money that you owe to people as well as organizations are paid as well on time. Add it there. If your friend loaned you money when you were, you know, broke, and you don't pay that money back, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. They're not gonna lend you that money anymore. So you need to ensure that you are paying people back. So, you know, if you say I'm gonna pay on this date, note it down. But back to the overall topic, ensure that your bills are paid. Be checking them. If you've got direct debit, double check to see that the direct debit has gone out. Don't just assume that you know, everything all is well. Just ensure that it's gone out. There are times where I've had money in the account and the direct debit has failed, you know, so there are things like that. Ensure that you are checking your bills. Okay, so the fourth one is slightly linked to number 3, which is not knowing the date your direct debit go out. And I'm not gonna lie, this was my own sin earlier this year. So I kind of transitioned in the job that I was doing, which meant that payday is very different, and a majority of my direct debits were towards my old payday. But then the new one has changed. And honestly, I didn't know when everything was going out, and things were going out before I got paid. And I was like, oh my gosh. So one of the things I've done is I've changed, again, my direct debits, the ones I can change. You'll not always be able to change, you know, what date the direct debit goes out. I think they're setting, I think DVLA, you're not able to change what date, but I do need to find out because I need to change mine. But the ones that you can change, if you know you get paid mid-month, ensure that, you know, it's closer to that time if it's easier for you. But even if you don't want to change it, just ensure that you are aware of which direct debit is going on what date. One of the ways I do this as well is, like, for example, if I don't want to change the date, is what you can see there, that's a calendar. So each month on that calendar, I do jot down, okay, my phone is going out this time, you know, this is going out that time, so that I know, you know, where everything is going and I'm not hit with any nasty surprises. And this is ignoring small expenses. So your coffee here and there. Oh, I'll treat myself to McDonald's today. And then you've gone to McDonald's like 3 or 4 times this week. Yes, I'm looking at you. Oh, I can't be bothered to cook tonight. Okay. Or, oh, it's only £2. Oh, let me just get that. Oh, you know, this is a dupe for this skincare, or this is a dupe for this perfume. It's only £20. The original cost like £300. Yeah, like a £20 perfume is going to smell exactly the same as a £300 one. Yes, of course it is. But, and I'm not against dupes. I do have some really good dupes myself, actually. Yes. But my point is, you do need to keep on track of your small expenses. The amount of times when I've started with a coaching client and we go through their, you know, the bank account for the month, and they're like, oh my gosh, I spent this amount on this. You have a Monzo card. Like, you can actually just check how much you have spent on takeaways in the month and see where you're like, oh, I can't save any money. I can't save any money. No, no, no. The money that you spent. And again, like I said, I'm not judging. I've seen people have told me, oh, it's so hard. I can't save £100 in a month. And then we've gone through their statement, and I can see money going out to Tesco's like every week for their food shopping. But then I could also see like the average of like £40 going out every week for takeaways. And I'm like, well, you know what? You're saying you can't save £100. But if you actually cut down on takeaways for 2 weeks and you just have it like for 2 other weeks in the month, that's £80 you've saved. So are you sure about that? Especially since you already do food shop, it has to be one or the other. And let's be real, takeouts are so expensive in this day and age. So I'm not just talking about takeouts, I'm talking about everything else. Buy what you need. Stop getting dupes. Stop getting dupes. I'm gonna say it. Stop getting dupes. Buy what you need. Buy what works for you. Stop being influenced by people on Instagram and the rest. I hope this video has helped. If it has helped, please like, comment and subscribe, and you know the rest. And I'll see you in my next video.